Trump. President Donald Trump has just tweeted something that I would like to also get your reaction to. President Trump says, finally, little Adam Schiff, the leaking monster of no control, is now blaming the Obama administration for Russian meddling in the 2016 election. He is finally right about something. Obama was president, knew of the threat, and did nothing. Thank you, Adam. Dr. Gorka, your reaction.
Look, I don't really want to talk about Adam Schiff. The guy's an embarrassment. He leaks more than a sieve. His memos and his attacks against the president are just absolutely shameful. But look, a broken clock is twice right a day. The fact is, if there's any administration that has helped Russia more than any other in American history, it's President Obama's. Whether it was the reset, whether it was doing practically nothing about the invasion of Ukraine, this is a president who got in bed with our enemies. Whether it was giving $150 billion to Iran, whether it was doing nothing meaningful about North Korea, everything the president has done, President Trump, since the inauguration has been bad for Vladimir Putin. We didn't have discussions in the White House about how we will be more flexible after the election, whether it's unleashing Anwar, whether it's fracking, whether it's arming the Ukrainians. This is a president who doesn't play nicely with our enemies.
It's such a great point, Sebastian, because if anyone has been frustrating the Russians, it's been the Donald Trump agenda. But what is interesting is the further along we get in the Trump administration, the worse the Obama administration looks. I mean, I think you brought up some really great points. His legacy has really been unraveled, which is probably why they're trying to bring up all this Russia stuff and change the subject.
Rachel, what is President Obama's legacy? That he spied on American citizens illegally, as we now know, with regards to Carter Page? Is it that he gave $150 billion to a regime in Tehran that wants to destroy us and our best friends like Israel? Or is it the fact that he created Obamacare, which was a disaster for most Americans in terms of their deductibles, their premiums skyrocketing? There is no legacy for this administration, and now we're finding out just what they did to us behind the scenes with unmasking and everything else. So don't worry. The true story about what we suffered for the last 8 years, it's finally going to come out.
Well, Dr. Gorka, how many more facts does the mainstream media need before their narrative changes? Or is their narrative never going to change, their anti-Trump view?
Look, I just saw the Washington Post tweet something yesterday after the indictments rolling out on Friday. So we've spent millions, literally millions of taxpayer dollars, thousands of man-hours under Robert Mueller. And what's the result? Nothing to do with the Trump campaign, no proof of collusion between the campaign or the Trump administration, and 13 people in Russia who we're never going to be able to extradite anyway are indicted. It's a bad SNL skit. In fact, it's like Monty Python. It's so absurd. So, let's get back to protecting America, protecting our children in our schools, and finding out terror. When we get warned about terrorists, as was the case in San Bernardino, in the Boston bombing, look, let's just do something about it.
Right, and Dr. Gorka, you know, there in Florida, the shooting that happened in the airport there in Fort Lauderdale, that gunman walked into the FBI office and said he was hearing voices. So, Dr. Gorka, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sebastian.